You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's The Originals After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's The Originals After Show.
Broken promises and promises.
I remember this song.
Numbers and numbers.
You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ
Remix. I remember now. Got it. Okay.
We just had to play that because Cortez don't be knowing the T. For once, Roxy, you knew something. That's something else know.
With the music, I'm there, Jesse. It's just the lingo. I ain't got it.
You ain't got it.
I know, I try though.
Marissa's
the dance, I don't really have that.
Marissa's engineering us in the booth. She never plays our music that loud. She must have liked this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yo, what up, AfterBuzz? This is your boy DJ Jesse Janedy here in Studio 4, the Originals AfterBuzz TV After Show. I am joined in studio by the lovely Roxy Striar.
Hi guys. Hello, good to be here.
Cortez West.
Is this the game show now?
Come on down.
Everyone, Cortez. Hey.
Everyone has their shtick, right?
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Roxy's got a
Hey.
little. Cortez goes, hey, what's mine?
DJ, you just do the voice.
What's going on, everyone?
Yo, what's up, everybody?
I
Yeah,
did.
that's it.
There you go. It's not all right. Did you guys miss us? Because I freaking missed you. What I didn't miss was this boring ass motherfucking.
Okay, honestly, you guys are hating on the episode more than I am. I kind of liked
Yeah,
it.
it was
my
boring.
God, Roxy.
A lot happened.
It was boring.
I don't think so. I think that you guys are just used to so much action packed on the
I
original.
mean, I thought you just said so much happened.
So much did happen. It just wasn't in the way that they usually show it. But a lot happened.
Well, I'm glad we're going to talk about that because I feel like not a lot did happen, and my notes prove it because I'm a very detailed note taker. And this episode, I was like, it took the whole damn episode for them to do one thing.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about it. Let's get into the first one. Let's just talk about damn Father Kieran. I mean, that's all that damn happened in this episode.
No, well, we
That
had the
and
whole
wolves.
story with the wolves. But when we're talking about Father K, I just think that this is the reason you don't think anything happened tonight's episode. This storyline has been dragged on for so damn long. And then even tonight when we think it's over with, it's like then he's coming back and then he's dead again, then he's coming back and then he's a vampire and then so I know what you mean, but I feel like, okay, now we can wrap that up. You know, he's dead now. He was just staked. He was dead. He's not coming back as a vampire. We already saw that. He's not coming back with a hex. We already saw that. He's dead. Goodbye. End of the story. You know?
So we think.
I mean, come on.
I mean,
No?
Oh, he's dead.
who knows what that key
Oh, he's
was?
dead.
Oh, I don't know what
Could
that
be a key to
is.
his brand new life. I'm just kidding.
I will buy you a new life.
Okay.
Even the engineer laughs.
If I can get Marissa to laugh, then I win. Okay?
So Father Kieran's going crazy. He was fixed for a couple seconds, and because he was fixed, it puts Cami on this like shopping spree that she can save her damn uncle.
Yeah.
So
Cami asked the doctor about shock therapy.
This was just too much for me. Like, sometimes it's just cruel to keep somebody alive. You know, you're literally shocking him so he can say your name. And then shocking him again so he can just say your name. Like, he's not saying it.
Say my name.
He's just
say
saying,
my name.
Cami. Tonight's the episode of song, apparently.
I feel like I'm shrinking over here.
This is
Give me one
AfterBuzz the
moment.
musical.
All right. Exactly.
Why are you really?
Are you shrinking?
I was shrinking.
Oh, all right. Dun dun.
It's hard
Magic
to-
chicks here at AfterBuzz.
It's hard to shrink when you're next to me because I'm such a little midge kid. But
A midge kid.
because I'm a midge kid.
Okay, this thing about the shock therapy, my thing is like, Cami, where did we get the balls from that you just all of a sudden can take these makeshift electronic devices and stab them into your uncle's temples?
When when Genevieve provoked her to stab Klaus, I'm sorry. You remember?
Yeah.
When Genevieve gave her the
So
knife.
so Cami is, still
That's
like,
when it snapped,
I
and
get
then
it.
exactly that's when she snapped, and she was just like, okay, I'm not taking this no more.
I don't know. I thought it was weird also that Cami was so trusting and close with Josh. When did that relationship?
When Josh came to help Davina
Yeah,
in
remember?
the attic,
Yeah,
and she was there.
yeah, she was there, and Hayley has a bond with them too because of that. It just is kind of weird, and like for her not to immediately be like, "That's where the key is,"
Exactly.
I mean,
Well,
it's like, why would the nurse or doctor, and who the hell was that doctor even? It was just the way they played it out was kind of weird. I think the reason I'm happy with it is because I know that it's over with. Like, I know that sounds so stupid, but it was like Father K, Father K, Father K.
well, at the time of Father Cave being whatever he was, being what was shocked and whatever, Klaus was there too.
Right.
So it was Klaus, the doctor, and
That's
Josh.
true. That's true. I think that this whole, and yeah, she's going to end up blaming Klaus for that, I'm sure.
Pretty sure.
But I think that this whole thing, this whole storyline is to, once again, and I think it's about a lot of storylines, help us show the humanity in Klaus.
Because that scene with the whole like shock therapy thing, that was just doing the most.
Yeah, absolutely. But the fact that he ends up saving her life, coming back, saving her, and then allows Marcel to come back in town, we're just seeing a side to him. He does have soft spots. And we've seen it a couple times before, mostly with Caroline on Vampire Diaries. Now he's growing a soft spot for Cami. I know this is skipping ahead a little bit, but when he does let Marcel come back into town, he says it's because she was in a dark room and she was screaming for Marcel's name. Did we not see that? Okay. That's
Well, we didn't see her screaming for his name, but we
right.
saw her in a dark room, which is in her dark room.
right, but we didn't hear her say
Yeah,
Marcel,
she was just laying there. Yeah.
right, which confused me because why, after all of this, is she saying Marcel?
She probably was not. I just think that Klaus probably came into the thought of, okay, I know Marcel did not do the bombing on the wolves as well, so he was just like, okay, let me.
Wait, what? No, y'all. Like, Cami was knocked unconscious. The bitch fell from the damn stories.
Right.
Of the damn choir room.
He took her to her house and put
And
her
he
in
took her
bed.
to the house, and she was unconscious. That was what I'm saying.
Oh, no, her eyes were open.
Child, what he said was she woke up out of the dark room. So, I mean, the girl didn't fall from a choir thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if her eyes were open, I'm sure they shut on the ride
No,
back.
but when is she saying Marcel?
Well, I think after Klaus saved her, she had woken up.
So why
and
is she
the first
saying?
person she said was Marcel's name. I think because there's a comfortability factor there with Marcel. She knows Marcel will never do wrong. Like, there's a trust factor there. With Klaus, it's like, yeah, Klaus proves himself, but then he does something to screw it up.
He does that
Like,
multiple times.
he's not
for her.
like
Yeah.
first person in the head she's gonna feel safe with. The first person she feels safe with is someone strong.
It kind of
and
should be Klaus,
trustworthy.
though.
But why? Marcel hasn't done anything to harm Cami.
Because look at what Klaus did for her today.
Okay,
And what did Marcel do? He
but we
couldn't do
talk-
anything.
But we talk about this all the time. How many times, like, and this is what Klaus doesn't understand. It's the reason the whole thing happened with Rebecca. How many times it's like, okay, you did something nice for me today, but then tomorrow, you go and you F it up. It's like,
Right, I mean,
how
he is
can
the
I
one-
trust you?
He is the one who makes it so that Genevieve won't fix the hex. So that's a good point.
But pushing besides that, going back to kind of Josh, two things that I loved with Josh this episode was him trying to compel the doctor and him just kind of flubbing up
oh
with
my
the
God, he's
compelling
such
thing.
a newbie vamp.
I like that. And then I liked the little quote where Father Kieran said to him, "There's a spot in hell for those like you." Where he was saying it about him being a
Gay,
vampire, but
yeah.
it was a gay reference, and
Yeah.
It was funny.
Cami wants to do the shock therapy. She fries Father Kieran's brain. Klaus has a serious talk with Cami about letting go of her uncle. How'd you guys feel
He says
about
not to give up, but to let go.
I thought that it was important that Klaus pulled her aside and said, your expectations aren't realistic right now. I thought that was the most important part of it.
I mean, but you can't fault her though. Like, if a witch put a spell on someone, they should be able to take it off. And I was thinking that the whole time. I
Right.
really was thinking like someone could remove, and Genevieve someone can remove this.
So she should have been after Genevieve instead of this like shock therapy thing. It was kind of weird.
Well, she had already tried. Remember when she gave her the ugly brooch that you just kept trying to figure out what is it about this brooch,
Right.
This hair thing. But to me, I think that Cami got to the point where she just felt like she was not going to trust anyone else, and she just wanted to go in and figure out what she could do to help her uncle.
And she thought the shock therapy was the
Well,
answer.
remember what she did have a point though, because he was going in and out, so he was still there.
No, I get it. I just think that it's cruel, like I think that when somebody is dying, that's cruel. It's cruel to torture them. But it's hard to see.
You say that on the outside looking in, but to me, after seeing my mother pass, I would do anything to bring her back.
Me too.
Oh, okay.
And I at the end, we had to let her go because you just can't. In my opinion,
You didn't want her to surf in it,
Yeah.
or them to surf in it.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I just think that it's you have to look at it as unselfishly as you can, because of course you want them still to be there, but like what you're doing to the human body, it's unnatural. And watching that was really sad because she just wouldn't let him go. She couldn't let him go
Especially
for
the fact
herself.
when they wanted to turn him to a vampire, and it was just kind of like, this is going against what, and then now it's like, okay, now you turn him into a vampire, now he has to kill himself.
And now he can't live with himself, and he has to do what you couldn't do to him.
Damn.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's really hard. And I'm not saying what anybody in that position should do or what kind of person it makes him, because of course it's the most impossible place to be, especially when she's lost her brother. It's not like she has anybody else. She's like grasping at straws here. But at some point, like you think, you have to let go and just realize that you're making things a lot worse.
Father K wakes up. The hex is broken at first, but then he turns into a vampire. He's going to starve himself. He tells Cami that he wants her to find the key around the neck. And then we see that he turns the hex is back. And
Yeah.
The hex is back, and is back stronger than it was before.
And now it seems to be a new hex. The hex has taken a turn so that he has to kill Cami. So was this Genevieve's plan all along?
well, no, I don't think it was Genevieve's plan. I think it's more of the ancestors.
Or did she
'Cause
know?
that other witch woman
Did the hex?
Was it
yes.
Agnes who did it?
I was trying to figure her name out with the red hair.
Oh no. Agnes was not the one with red hair. Bastiana?
Was it Bastiana?
Oh, we're
I
getting
can't
our
remember.
witches confused.
Yeah,
They'll tell us.
It was a witch.
Right. At the church, and she did that.
Right, exactly, when it came out.
Jesse, when you do, they'll tell us. When he says they, he means you guys,
No,
okay?
no.
They'll tell us, of course. Our gods up above.
My little gods. Moving on.
That's like Lady Gaga. She has her little monsters. You have your little gods?
My little gods watching out there. Klaus can't find his mother's grimoires. We find out that Elijah had actually hid it from Klaus because Klaus is turning New Orleans into a war zone, which we get a full recovery with that one. The end, Elijah ends up giving the grimoire to Klaus at the end.
Right, and it's more...
Was my head down? Was my head down?
Yeah, he gives the grimoire to him, and he says... Like if we're fighting, if these families,
like right now, like, do you need me to?
if these families are fighting, then I want to be on your team, basically, and gives them the grimoire.
Oh, at the end, you did say the end. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I remember that. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking about when he was looking for it in the room.
Oh no, not
when
that.
Elijah was sitting there. Okay.
But, so I think we've got a couple missing pieces right now.
Right.
Number one is the fact that we have no idea what's in this grimoire. Is there one spell that everybody kind of wants to find, or is there just a lot, and because their mother was such a powerful witch, everybody wants this? And also is what the hell this key is. So what's in the grimoire, and what is this key?
Well, the book it's already been said that the grimoire, what is it, grimoire, right? Has all of the best spells and the most
right. But I want to know specifically, what does that mean?
I mean, but if you're a witch and you know that this powerful person, which at some point has a book, I want it too. That's just like when you read. That's just like when you see
Pokemon
exactly.
cards.
That's just like when you see a celebrity that you love writes a book. You're going to want to go read that book and see what their story was. So I think that's what the witches are wanting to do, especially Genevieve.
Okay. I'm just wondering because obviously at some point that grimoire is going to come into play, and one of the spells or multiple of the spells are going to come into play.
I wrote this down, but I'm going to leave it for my predictions
Okay.
because I think the key and that book plays a part.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
So Elijah goes and talks to the wolves. They just want the rings. They don't want to start any fights, but they want to live this peaceful life. He's upset with Hayley because Hayley signed the pledge, but now is still working with Close.
Wait, I don't know. Maybe my head was down for this. How did Elijah find out about Hayley and Jackson and Oliver working with Klaus?
Last week. Who came and told Elijah? Marcel.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Because we started this episode with it, and I was like, what?
Mm-hmm. So then we get this random man shows
Marcel
up.
just knows everything. Holy crap.
He's got the
He said that. He said he has friends, and he has to keep friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that apartment is pretty sweet. I would live there. Exposed
I
brick
actually
is like
would.
my
That's
thing.
a hot loft.
Yeah.
That's a hot loft. I would have would too.
Sitting right next to the old school
Yes.
radio. I was
Really
like,
cool.
all right, looking real
With his own
fancy.
bar in there. All right, myself.
I was like, all you need is some cigars on ice. So this man on a bike shows up, asks who the leader is, and then he blows up.
Right.
Now,
Hashtag
this
show
what-
up to blow up.
I know, right? Show up to blow
Show
up.
up to
right.
blow up!
I don't. That what really got me when I saw that the motorcycle blew up. I thought I saw Klaus run towards him. Did I not see that?
Elijah.
I'm sorry. Did I not see him run towards him?
No, he did to move him.
Okay, all right. So
Because
okay.
he knew what was about to happen somehow. You know,
because the guy he looked at Klaus and smiled.
yeah, and so
Elijah. Why am I saying Klaus?
Elijah went to move him because he was
Okay,
near Hayley
got
and
it.
near whatever. And if he hadn't moved him, probably Hayley, a lot of them would have died.
I think I got confused because he asked who's the leader here,
Right.
and then looked at Elijah and smiled.
Yeah, it was weird. It's even weirder now that, again, sorry, I can't help but jump ahead, but it's even weirder now that we know that Oliver was behind this because it seemed to blow up near people that would have Oliver was just trying to piss people off. This would have done more than piss people off. had
That
it
goes
blown up.
because Holly and the baby would have been
Right, because Hayley,
Holly, yeah. But I'm just fucking up everybody's name today.
That's okay.
But that goes back to last week when I said about Oliver and Jackson. I do not trust them to. I never trust Oliver. Jackson a little bit.
Yeah.
But that Oliver, I knew it though.
Yeah, you did.
I really did.
You're like our prediction king.
He's a power hungry mofo. So yeah, this man on the bike blows Ish up. Hayley's helping the wounded. She goes to find Marcel. She attacks Diego. This is a cool little powerful moment. Like Mama Bear coming on with all the vampires.
Yeah.
They could have all ripped her to shred.
Exactly. But she
she
knows
didn't
that
give
she
it-
can do that because she's carrying.
The baby, I know. I was scared that
Come on, Eddie.
I was scared that she was gonna go at Diego with that, and then even if he pushed her over, she's pregnant. You can't fight with a pregnant lady.
Yeah.
But Jesse, you have a little love for Diego. I have a little love for Diego.
What do you
too.
mean? Why?
Meaning
I just like when he's on screen.
Yeah, they've built his character up, and they usually do this. They'll build a character up that you start to like, and be like, oh, okay, he's gonna be a part of the scene. And I'm at first you could kind of tell that that's where they were gonna do with Diego's character.
Then they
Because
did it with
made
Thierry.
right? So it's scary because you don't want to get too attached to them. But I feel like Diego has there's a bigger plan for Diego.
Bigger plot.
Right.
Yeah, so I
Because
think
Marcelo
we're gonna,
is not really able to come
in
back.
charge of the
Yeah.
vampires. Diego to
Yeah.
me is like the king of the vampires
right now. And I think it's going to continue even when Marcel is able to come back for sure.
because Diego
Yeah.
also has that power hungry kind of mentality. So I think having those kind of key players keeps.
And they always
the
come
game
to
going.
Diego. They never come to any other.
Also, just as an actor, I don't know, something about him on screen, his mannerisms,
Yeah.
his little things. He intrigues me. I don't really
Oh,
know.
you all said something when you just said that about Diego, how they built up a character. You all said the same thing about Josh last week. Mm-hmm. This, he did something in this episode that made me think that he's gonna stay longer because when he was trying to compel the doctor, you can tell that he's working on his becoming a vampire.
Yep.
So I don't think they're gonna just vanish him that quickly.
Until he becomes a pro.
Yeah, he's gonna become a pro. Like he's really gonna be someone to F with.
Yeah. No, I agree.
We'll get like 2 seasons of them. Kill
Maybe
him
so.
off by the third.
Yeah.
You never
It'll
know.
be an epic moment for the end of second season finale. Sorry. All right, so Eve, we find out she's hurt under the trailer. She can't heal herself because then we find out that
She's not full wolf.
She's never followed through with the curse.
Right, which I forgot about. So if you don't kill someone, you're not full wolf.
Take us back to Vampire Diaries when we saw Tyler become
exactly.
a wolf.
So Tyler is the same as Amy?
In this, that there were werewolves, and so we saw
Who's Amy?
I'm
Eve.
Emily. Eve. So sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I just
I don't know
didn't
where
even-
these
the pot
I don't
over
know
there,
where these names are coming
Cortez.
from. I really don't know.
No,
I'm
it
so
actually
sorry.
is very hard on this show
It is.
because some of them, we've got people coming in every single day, witches and leaving, and wolves.
And it's so funny because I had her face in my head, but I was saying Amy for some reason. But yeah.
Oh.
So
Wait,
Wait,
what are
but
you
we were
saying
saying
about
what?
Eve though?
Eve and Tyler, you said?
Yeah.
Are like
Well, just they're both werewolves. So the thing is, we know that curse with the werewolf is because on Vampire Diaries, Tyler, we saw his transformation. We knew
Tyler
he
was our token werewolf.
Yeah,
from
and
Vampire
we
Diaries.
saw like the day that he by accident ended up killing somebody because he was drunk, and then that caused him to turn into the werewolf.
so for anyone out there as well that has not seen the Vampire Diaries, what would you say I need to go back and see? The first season start over from the beginning of Vampire Diaries, or can I just go back?
It depends what you're trying to learn, The originals don't come on in the first season, so they're not a part of it then. I don't think when did they come on? Season 3? Season 4?
Yeah.
So anyway,
Three.
it depends. Yeah, I think 3 too. It depends on what you're trying to look for. Little bits of information like that, like how do you turn into a wolf?
Okay.
Then you got to go back to season 1. But it wasn't necessary for you in tonight's episode. It's not like
Okay.
you didn't pick it up. You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah,
you
yeah,
understood
yeah.
that she couldn't heal herself, and that was what you needed to get.
Exactly.
But that was sad to me because it's upsetting that she's one of the good ones, and that means that she can't live. And then the whole thing with Oliver was like freaking devastating.
But actually, just to kind of go off of the whole build the character up to kill him, that she's a great
Example of that.
example of that. We don't really know too much of her. It's a more minimal version of it, but we didn't know too much of her. But we knew that we had a connection with her that we liked, and so they built her up.
Right, and they put her in last week's episode just enough to remind us, like, oh, by the way, this is Eve, and by the way, she's dead now.
Right. So bye.
Looking for work, Eve. So sorry.
Elijah wanted to give her his blood. That was an interesting.
I'm starting.
Thought?
I'm starting to like.
Elijah?
I'm liking both Klaus and Elijah. I mean,
Yeah.
I've always did, but I always did, but I just now think that they have a plan behind themselves. I think them two have a plan that they're just not introducing to us yet.
You just seem like somebody who's kind of slow to trust people. Is that true? Yeah, so you're like skeptical of everything.
I analyze everything.
Who are you trusting on the show? Anyone? Like, who's your person you're like, okay, I can breathe now because I know that they're on screen and I don't have to like worry if they have ulterior motives.
Davina.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Where the hell is Davina tonight?
Davina is learning her power, so she's about to come back and let Monique have it. She's
Yeah,
about to
that
wreck-
was interesting.
she's
We didn't
about
see
to-
her.
Exactly.
But I feel that way about her. I feel that way about
Josh.
Josh. I feel that
Well,
way
Josh
about...
was sneaky tonight.
Well, he
He
to
was
me,
sneaky.
He was sneaky, but to me, he does things for.
He has to
what's-
play the role in order for him to survive. And I also don't feel like that about Elijah. Because I feel like even though Elijah will do things outside of his character, it's all for the good. Like, you don't have to worry about dealing with Elijah in a rough circumstance. Like, he'll sit there, have a conversation with you about it. I don't know. I just feel like there's reasoning with Elijah.
I'm losing respect for Elijah as the elite vampire that I thought he was. Because he's getting a little soft. It seems like Marcel is kind of gaining up on
Well,
him.
right. He said last week he like pins Klaus against the wall. He was like, "No, you have another thing coming." And then tonight he folds pretty quickly when he sees that his treaty isn't working. And a lot of times treaties don't work.
What really got me about tonight though with Elijah was the fact that he did not know that Oliver was a part of the blow up, the attack.
I mean, how could he have known? That's crazy.
Because ever since I've been watching it, Elijah has always been the person that in the know.
Sure.
So when he did that tonight, I was like, oh, he's losing it. Like Marcel even knows.
It's so hard when all of these people have so many enemies.
Wait, Marcel doesn't know that the wolf did that.
He knew about it and he didn't do it.
Oh.
Remember, because when Hayley came over to his house,
Hayley.
he was Hayley. When Hayley came over to his house, he was like, I didn't do it. And he was very much, straightforward.
Flip side, we get Hayley. She visits Marcel. He tells her about the Crescent Curse and that
This was weird.
yeah, he's the one that saved her as a baby, and he could have killed her, but he didn't.
And he brought her to Father K,
Yeah.
which is a whole nother twist of the story. And obviously, we can't really get Father K's out of that because he be dead. So
He's dead.
Ooh, I'm so glad y'all just said that because that's gonna really, about that key. Go ahead.
So then Oliver was the one who sent the bomber outside. He ends up killing Eve, and then he's rolling up the path.
But it seems as if Oliver didn't act alone.
Yeah, when she was like, "Don't tell me you worked with."
But yeah. And then he suffocates her. First,
Do you think it's someone that we know, and that's going to be really surprising to us?
well,
Or-
Marcel, no, because Marcel tonight introduces the fact that Hayley's parents had problems with a lot of people, but he specifically mentions these gamblers or whatever it was. So I think it's them. And that Oliver approached them and now is wrapped up in something that's way over his head. I actually don't think that Oliver's a bad dude. I just think that he's power hungry and like wants her, he's kind of meatheady, like we talked about. And he's like, oh, they got us, we're gonna get that. Like, I gotta get people on my team. But I do think he really is rooting for the Wolves. I don't think he's trying to.
Yeah, like I see, like in 2 seasons from now or a season from now, Jackson dying and Oliver,
That
becoming
changing
this
him who he is,
protector
yeah.
over Haley and the
Jackson
baby.
dying, yes, but dying by the hands of Oliver.
Maybe.
All right, Jesus.
I don't
The
know.
Damn Last Supper over there.
Like,
She called me
what?
the Last Supper. No, I really think that Oliver's gonna kill Jackson. I really do.
I
I
don't.
mean, look how easy it was for him to do Eve.
It didn't seem that easy for him.
Oh, it was easy.
Seemed
That was
little
too easy.
Really?
actually.
Too easy.
Yeah.
And how you gonna give me a speech before you kill me?
How you gonna tell me, T? First of all, how you gonna tell me, T, that I don't want to know if you're gonna kill me?
Exactly.
Like, don't tell me what you're gonna do, and then be like, now I have
Now
to
you're
kill you.
forced to
Well,
kill
bitch,
me.
you didn't have to tell me. I'm just laying here hurt.
Well, I don't think he was planning on killing her. I think that he wanted to tell her and her to be like, that was a smart move. And not say that she was going to tell
Well,
everybody.
that's delusional.
Yeah,
Clearly
absolutely. He is
because
delusional. Yeah, he
killed
is a
her.
little delusional.
Especially when he knows that she doesn't kill anybody.
Right.
So.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's going to end up dying by what's Jackson, because I think that he's now tangled up with some really bad people.
Right.
And so I think that, unfortunately, he's going to have beef with those bad people.
And those people are not in New Orleans.
Well, I don't know.
They probably
I
about to
promise
be.
you, those people are not in New Orleans.
They about to be.
They're about to be, but I don't think they're in New Orleans right now.
Moving on. Klaus calls Marcel, tells him that Kieran is dead, gives him permission to bury his friend, and then grants her permission to give Cami comfort. And then we find out Josh took the key from Kieran's neck, and Elijah gives Klaus his mother's grimoire. And on that, let's head into
Predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
You do the best imitations of me, Jesse. My prediction actually is a question for you guys on what you guys would predict, but
Well, you'll have to save that for our question segment.
it will never come. Okay, so tonight in the VO of, I think it was Klaus, he said, in troubled times, people do not look for the best, but rather the loudest. And that was obviously referring to Oliver when he was trying to rile up the troops. Do you guys think that is going to be something that they follow and people are going to follow Oliver over Jackson? Or are they going to take a step back and realize what's going on?
No. Once Elijah or anyone finds, or Hayley, anyone finds out that Oliver was involved in that, no.
How are they going to find that out?
That is coming out. I just got a feeling it's coming out.
I feel like it's gonna go on for a couple episodes. Oliver's gonna build up this power, build up a pack, and then they're gonna find some tea, spill the tea, and then half the pack's gonna be like struggling, like, should we go with Elijah? Should we trust Oliver? And I feel like it's gonna turn into like against each other.
This is the problem. All these teams are splitting up. So we see that the vampires are now in 2. We've got the ones that are following the brothers, who are kind of split in 2 also until tonight's episode, where maybe they're back together. And then we've got the ones that are following Marcel. And the wolves, they might be split in 2. Like,
But I think it's going to force vampires and wolves to have to team
work
up
together, yeah,
against other vampires and wolves
absolutely.
and witches, and
because they're all fighting their own mini wars. So that's great.
I'm into it. We see Michael comes back next week.
Oh yeah, and in the weirdest dreamy way. Not dreamy like oh, you're so dreamy. Dreamy as nightmare, exactly. He's coming back in Klaus's dreams, but the weirder one was the fact that he was coming back in Hayley's dreams. Huh?
The baby.
Yeah.
Bloodline.
Something.
Interesting. All right, so what's your prediction?
I really think that the book and the key really holds the truth of the city.
What is the truth of the city?
And I don't know. I'm just thinking that really holds the truth of the city. The truth of the city.
What do you mean the truth of the city, though?
Like, who really owns the city? Who really built the city? Even though they say that Klaus and Elijah built the city. Because I remember looking at that episode, right? I think that they may have rebuilt the city, but before then, I think the wolves actually really own the city of at some point. And Hayley, right? Yeah. Hayley family was probably one of the main. So do
you need the key and the book together? You think?
Yes, because I think the book actually holds some spells that may have got the wolves out of there, or did something to where the wolves are not there anymore, or not around, or not in New Orleans anymore, because they can't go to the city. They won't go to the city.
Yeah, I mean, whatever spell that everyone wants from this book, because apparently there's one real big spell.
It's going to be to get the city back.
That key, I guarantee you, unlocks like a recipe from it, or like an ingredient that they need for.
Yeah, Marcel says he takes the key because he doesn't want everybody going after Cami for it, and they will, and she's not ready yet. That seemed to be really strange logic. Yes, maybe he's protecting Cami, but you just stole from her. Like, you're the one that she needs protecting from, kind of.
No, because he's not going to harm her.
You think the key could harm her?
Yeah, because I think if people think she has it, they would go after her, kill her just for the key.
Yeah. I'm going to need her to get turned into a vampire pretty soon.
Actually, I don't think she needs to, because if Father K had the key and he was not a vampire, then obviously
but he could at least fight. Like, Cami is like...
Yeah. I mean,
but she's getting...
She jumped off the freaking balcony.
You see she's getting bolder and bolder, though. Like, she's getting more bold. So, like...
Kind of more stupid.
The bitch really jumped off a balcony.
I would have, too. But
you can go left or right.
But no, but honestly, at the same time, though, like, she jumped off the balcony, but it was not that high. So I'm like, why are you acting like you have to crawl? Like, I didn't like that.
I mean, it looked like she
girl, you didn't break nothing.
All right. Well, now all of us are Superman like you.
I would have broken everybody. I would be dead.
When you're a pump like that and you're running from, I've been chased by dogs. So when your anxiety is going and you get hurt, you won't feel it until you stop. If I would have jumped off that, I would have.
Well, bitch, she stopped. The bitch done hit her head on the floor.
No, she did not hit her head. She landed feet first.
On that note, people, do not listen to this motherfucker and jump off no damn choir balcony and run that in your local church. The views expressed here are those by the host only. And
I'm impressed. He's saying I'm thinking this idiot. No, I'm thinking I'm impressed.
Yeah, if I jumped off that,
I need to squat with you.
Yeah.
All right, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit us up at AfterBuzz TV on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Also, make sure you guys tweet us your thoughts all week long. You can tweet me at DJ Jesse J.
You can find me at Roxy Striar.
And you can find me at Cortez G West. Tweet me again. I got someone tweeting me last week, so yeah.
There you go. Till next week, same time, same place. Peace.
Oh, yeah.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.